The classic gentleman, 1800s. The classic gentleman cut, 1800s. In the early 1800s, the American man's hairstyle was all about polish and propriety. Influenced by European aristocracy, hair was typically parted to the side, combed flat, and held in place with oil or pomade. Beards were rare, but sideburns were a statement. This was the age of the gentleman. Formality was fashion, and a man's appearance reflected his discipline and social standing. Haircuts were done at home or at barbershops that doubled as community gathering places. There was no room for flair, just neatness. Every strand had its place. It was the dawn of American identity, controlled, proper, and full of ambition. The Frontier Flow, 1850s. The Frontier Flow, 1850s. By the mid-19th century, America was expanding westward, and hairstyles reflected that rugged frontier spirit. Clean partings gave way to longer, looser styles. Men on the move didn't have time or the tools for daily grooming. Hair grew shaggier, often shoulder length, and facial hair exploded in popularity. Beards, mustaches, and wild sideburns became symbols of masculinity, strength, and survival. The frontier cut was messy but intentional, scrappy but heroic. These were styles born not in salons, but in the wilderness. It was less about fashion, more about freedom. Men wore their grit on their heads, and every strand told a story of resilience and exploration. The Civil War crop, 1860s. The Civil War crop, 1860s. During the Civil War, practicality took over. Soldiers needed low-maintenance cuts that didn't interfere with helmets or hygiene. Buzzed sides and short tops became standard in military camps, and the look trickled into civilian life. Beards remained popular, often full and untamed, but the hair itself was cropped shorter than before. It was the beginning of the modern military fade. These cuts were not stylish, they were strategic. They represented duty, unity, and discipline. The American man was no longer a settler or a gentleman, he was a soldier. His hair was armor, and every trimmed edge told a tale of sacrifice. The Gilded Slickback, 1880s. The Gilded Slickback, 1880s. With the rise of industry and wealth during the Gilded Age, style became a form of status. Men slicked back their hair using heavy pomades, creating shiny, controlled waves that mirrored their tailored suits. This wasn't just grooming, it was marketing. A clean, glossy head meant success. The mustache was meticulously trimmed, and barbershops turned into mini-spas for businessmen. Appearance became a performance, especially in urban America. The slickback look screamed sophistication and control. It was a hairstyle that demanded attention and got it. Men weren't just cutting their hair, they were shaping their image. The Jazz Age Taper, 1920s. The Jazz Age Taper, 1920s. The Roaring Twenties brought jazz, freedom, and a fresh take on masculinity. Haircuts got shorter and tighter, tapered sides, defined parts, and matte finishes replaced the heavy pomades. It was the era of the undercut, where style met rebellion. African American men shaped the Harlem Renaissance with creative waves and lineups. White men followed suit with clean parts and high-shine top styles. Hair became fashion-forward. You could dance all night and still look sharp by morning. The 1920s haircut was rhythm and form, tight, tailored, and smooth. Every strand was in sync with the music of modern America. The Depression-era shortcut, 1930s. The Depression-era shortcut, 1930s. With economic hardship came practicality. Men couldn't afford fancy grooming products or frequent barber visits, so short, durable haircuts dominated. The short back and sides became the norm, clean, simple, and affordable. Pomade use persisted, but sparingly. Facial hair took a back seat. Clean-shaven became more common. This was a time of survival, not splendor. Yet, within the limits, men still found ways to stay neat and dignified. Barbershops offered cheap haircuts as a social service, and even in poverty, presentation mattered. The style was plain, but it reflected an American spirit that refused to break. The GI Cut, 1940s. The GI Cut, 1940s. World War II redefined the American male image. The GI cut, buzzed sides, short top became the new standard. Efficiency and uniformity ruled the era. Soldiers sported high-end tights or crew cuts, and the look caught on across the country. It wasn't about looking good, it was about looking ready. After the war, veterans kept their cuts, and the GI style became a symbol of strength and honor. Facial hair vanished almost entirely. This haircut was America's military badge, a reminder of the sacrifice, discipline, and national pride worn every day, right above the brow. The Greaser Look, 1950s. The Greaser Look, 1950s. Post-war prosperity brought back style and rebellion. Teen boys idolized James Dean and Elvis Presley, slicking their hair with Brill-Cream into towering pompadours or ducktail styles. The sides were short, but the top stood tall, sculpted with precision. This was youth culture, greased and glorified. Leather jackets and motorcycles matched the swagger. It was no longer about discipline, it was about defiance. The greaser hairstyle was part armor, part attitude. It shouted freedom, cool, and American rebellion, all at once. And barbers learned to style, not just cut, turning every chair into a stage. The hippie flow, 1960s. The hippie flow, 1960s, as the counterculture exploded, long hair became a protest. Men grew their locks past their shoulders, rejecting the military norms of their fathers. Bangs, curls, and unkempt beards symbolized peace, freedom, and anti-establishment values. The barbershop was out, the natural look was in. Shampoo replaced pomade, and music festivals replaced grooming standards. Hair was a political statement. The longer the hair, the louder the message. In this era, hair didn't just express style, it expressed belief. And in every tangled strand lived a protest, a poem, a purpose. The disco blowout, 1970s. The disco blowout, 1970s style hit the dance floor in the 70s. Volume was king. Afro's blowouts and feathered styles ruled the scene. Men used picks, dryers, and rollers to achieve that high-flying look. Disco brought glamour, and hair followed suit. Black men embraced the afro as a symbol of pride and identity, while white men rocked flared layers and side-swept bangs. It was theatrical, expressive, and unapologetically bold. Whether you were spinning under a disco ball or marching for civil rights, your hair was loud. It wasn't just a look, it was liberation, set to a beat. The business cut, 1980s. The business cut, 1980s. The 80s were literally, as corporate America boomed, hair got slick again. The power cut emerged, short sides, voluminous tops, and Wall Street sheen. Mousse replaced pomade, and barbers became stylists. The mullet business in the front, party in the back, made its controversial rise. Men wanted versatility, a clean look for work, flair for the weekend. Haircuts reflected ambition, excess, and ego. It was the age of shoulder pads and ego-driven style. Your hair said how serious you weren't, how fun you could be off the clock. The grunge shag, 1990s. The grunge shag, 1990s. With grunge and alternative rock came a new kind of careless style. Long, messy, and unwashed became the look. Bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam shaped the aesthetic. Hair fell into eyes, covered ears, and looked like it hadn't seen a brush in weeks. Meanwhile, hip-hop culture brought in fades, cornrows, and high-top fades. The 90s were a duality: disheveled rockers and polished street style. There were no rules, just attitude. Hair wasn't about fitting in, it was about standing out by not trying. The messier, the cooler, and the message. Be real, not perfect. The frosted tip era, 2000. The frosted tip era, 2000s. The early 2000s were chaotic, canned, so were the haircuts. Spiked tips, frosted highlights, and asymmetric styles dominated. Think boy bands, bleached strands, and bedhead looks that took an hour to perfect. Gel was the MVP of the decade. Meanwhile, black men refined their fades, adding intricate patterns and tight lines. Metrosexuality entered the chat. Grooming was now mainstream. Hair wasn't just a necessity, it was a hobby. The 2000s hairstyle was trendy, risky, and loud. You didn't wear it, you performed it. The fade revival, 2010s. The fade revival, 2010s. Barber culture exploded in the 2010s. Fades came back stronger than ever. Low, mid, high, skin, temp, burst, you name it. Beards made a roaring return, meticulously trimmed and paired with slick undercuts. Social media created hairstyle influencers, and barbers became artists. Pompadours, comb-overs, and hard parts gained traction. Men cared about grooming again, but with precision and pride. It was a blend of old-school techniques and new-age swagger. The fade was no longer just a haircut, it was an identity, curated and crafted with flair. The natural tech look, 2020s. The natural tech look, 2020s. Today, the American man is all about balance. Hairstyles lean natural, low maintenance, and tech-savvy. Clean fades, curly tops, and even long hair are all embraced, as long as it fits your vibe. Products are organic, grooming tools are smart, and style is fluid. From buzz kits to braids, it's all welcome. There's no dominant look, only authenticity. Hair says more about how you feel than how you want to be seen. In an age of AI and wellness, the best style is the one that feels real. Your hair, your way, simple as that. From powdered side parts to digital age fades, American men's hair has mirrored every twist in the nation's story. And as trends come and go, one thing stays true: style always speaks louder than words. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.